So these teams tonight competing for the Beyond Blue Cup. I'll tell you more about that in just a little while as Adam Reynolds starts Thursday night Macca's football. And Luke Brooks it was who took the ball, and McKaylee comes charging back. Thomas McKaylee, 12 metres out from his own line, the first play of the night. And now it's with Leilua. Luciano in the team, Joey out injured along with Moses Mbai, and Chris Lawrence and Tommy Talau, they come into the side, and Holus Bolus, they take over the centre three-quarter positions. So the Tigers through Josh Aloiai before this tackle ends just on the South Sydney side of halfway from Twal. It's kicked by Brooks. It's going down to the 10. And Dane Gagai back in the side tonight. So Gagai taking on a three-man tackle originally, playing the ball. Masters goes in for a run. Big centre three-quarter, no reason why not. Here's Alex Johnston. And a big thank you, I think, is worthy of Zach Wheeler, a young man that works for Coles in the customer relations department. Of course, he was the man to put the petition together, encouraging Souths to give Alex Johnston a chance to realise his own dreams, and that being a one-man footballer, one-man club footballer, particularly with his beloved Souths. Oh, well done over there by Kepa Oa. Hard one to take, swirling around.
It was a nasty one to get first up, wasn't it? It was all over the place, and he did a really good job to catch it. It didn't look that simple. He made it look difficult.
You know, he hits it in the belly of the ball, and to kick it that far is quite an achievement by Adam Reynolds. He kicked it about 40 metres. When he hits it in the belly, it just moves everywhere. There's no rhythm to it, it just moves. We'll go down to Andrew Johns in a sec to see if there's any wind and how the weather is in the field.
Well, Dane Gagai had a long look at this one. Benji, I don't know whether he intentionally wanted to hook it across the ground as it went over the eastern touchline from about the scrum line on the western side. And here he is making contact with it, and there seemed to be intention in what he was doing, and it's gone into touch over on the eastern side. Let's go down to Joey on the sideline. The rain seems to have abated.
Yeah, there's no rain, but it's that slight shower we had about 15-20 minutes ago. There's a little bit of moisture on the surface. It's rock hard and no breeze, but yeah, pretty rock hard underfoot.
Graham under that tackle. He's had a wonderful season, 6 tries in the last 4 games that he's played. He debuted with South Sydney at the same time as he made the Australian schoolboys side. I think it was back in 2016, something like that. He's a fine product. Here's Murray. Talking of Australian schoolboys, he did likewise in the other code. On the 30-metre then for Cook to give it to Reynolds. He chips it in behind Kepa Oa. And who did it come off?
Hey, shadow in it. Okay, touched.
It's been touched. So Ben Cummins bringing play back to the restart point. Watch this. Yeah, he's put up an umbrella across it. He's put a shadow across it, and it's gone over the sideline.
He just touched his left knee. You can see Dane Gagai using all his experience, stomping his feet on the ground, putting the fear into the young winger. Just enough to get a touch on the left knee.
So it gives Souths, it gives them a good chance in the early minutes of this game. 4.5 gone, and Cook it is with a run himself a couple of metres from the line. For Reynolds, a second man choice for Burgess. And he makes company with the uprights. And Cook it is that goes away. And 8 for South Sydney. Liam Knight played the ball. Comes back from Murray. And it goes to ground. They scooped up there by Lawrence. But the referee has called them back.
Yeah, they had to play at the ball here. They felt a little bit stressed in defence. We were here 8 weeks ago for the game between these two sides, and South Sydney constructed 4 beautiful plays down their own right-hand side up against the Tigers' left-hand defence. Produced 4 terrific tries. And they're not usually renowned for their right side of the field play. They're more dominant on the left. So it'll be interesting to see where South Sydney point their attack tonight.
So Benji working the scrum on the 10-metre line. So South's had their loose head and feed opportunity. Now the Tigers get some relief from that scrum. Also back on the 10-metre line. This is McHale. Just inside the 40-metre line. Grant, Brooks. He had a chance for Leilua, but he decided to bust them himself. Good yards made by Brooks, the halfback. Then Marshall, back for Dewey. So Adam, 35 metres out. This is the last coming up for the Tigers, and Brooks has a challenge on him, but he gets a kick in, and Corey Allen goes up and takes it.
Bradley, you have coached Adam Dewey with the Lebanon team. I thought he was terrific at centre last week. Back to fullback tonight with no Mvi. What's his best position?
I think where he played last week. When I coached him, he came in as a centre, and he's just got that nous where he's got enough knowledge of the game. You can see the physique. He's tall, he's athletic. Yeah, I think definite centre for mine.
This is Jaden Sewer now. Just looking for a gap. There's a Tiger down in back play. It's McHale. He's got that left knee very heavily bandaged, and I think that's what's giving him the problem at the moment.
And he's trying to get it moving. He's limping very, very heavily.
Reynolds gets a ball away. A chip kick back inside. Walker kicks again. It might be still alive. Dived on, I think, by the West Tigers.
Well, that should be a penalty. The South Sydney player was just tackled without the ball. It's Cody Walker come back out of the left-hand side. We should get another look at this in a second. It was a beautiful little toe ahead by Cody Walker. There he is, gets the toe on it. He's just taken without the ball.
Absolutely right, Brad.
That should be sin bin.
It was a good play back in the 80s.
Played by Dewey. This is Chris Lawrence.
Before you filled the ground up with videos and cameras, we used to knock them all down.
Brooks then. Cook going in to make the tackle on the kicker, taken by Gagai. So Dane playing the ball just outside his own 20-metre line. No score, 8 minutes gone. Thursday night football for Maccas. It's Masters, played to Allen, gone to Burgess. He runs at Leilua and Grant. They make the tackle together with Twal. Ball goes to Sewer. And Jaden makes valuable metres, hard yards.
He's been really good this year. Geez, I've been impressed with him.
Cook with a flat pass over to Knight. Liam playing the ball under the tackle of Garner. And then Reynolds. Down she goes to Kapa'oa.
You reckon he's fairly...
You could see that coming. You've got no doubt that he was going to get all the kicks tonight, because Norfoluma on the other side of the field is a weapon for the Tigers. The Rabbitohs won't kick to him. And Kapa'oa is going to get all the heat tonight. Good test for him.
Here's Garner taking the ball to just outside the 20-metre line in the middle of the ground, and then put down by Twal, picked up by South Sydney Sirenen, gone on to Graham. Graham inside 30 and wrestled down by Lawrence in the main. Johnston then in 2. That's Sirenen again with a carry. 22 out from the line. They're running towards the Leagues club into the ground. Reynolds showing it, pulling it back in, getting it to Walker. Tackled low by Brooks and up the top by Grant. 6 more tackles then for the Rabbitohs. And Cook drops it down for Cameron Murray. He'll play the ball 10 metres out from the line. So Murray to Cook and then to Reynolds. And then from Sewer, it's gone away. Here's the first try coming up for Dane Gagai. They punched away at the West Tigers' left side. Kicked to it, ran to it, and Gagai eventually has cracked it.
Well, that's the 3rd time in the last few tackles that they've gone down this side of the field, and they've nearly found pay dirt every time. Simple play, Harvey Norman replay. Just a little play out the back for Cody Walker, who's come around from the left-hand side of the field to create the numbers for Dane Gagai. They carved them up down this side of the field last time they met. On the previous play, the West Tigers defence slid out and handled it really good. This time they got caught short, rushed up, and the beautiful hands, quick hands here of Cody Walker releases his winger.
Well, the initial pass got Adam Reynolds straight onto the back rower. You can see Harry Grant trying to put pressure, but Luciano Leilua had eyes for Adam Reynolds, and the moment that happened, that gave South Sydney the overlap, and it was just a matter of everyone doing their job, and ended up being Cody Walker dishing off the final pass to Dane Gagai to get the try. But the first pass was beautiful, just got the halfback straight on the back rower. Joey?
Yeah, if you have a look at the high shot, there was 5 attackers, 5 defenders. There was no need for the young winger Kepa Oa to come in. They just go man for man, get up quick and hold and work together. They would have solved it easily. But rush of blood, no communication. The inexperienced outside backs on that left side. And Gagai might get a few tries tonight.
That's 100% right. On the previous play, they actually all slid out really well, and Reynolds had to run it himself. But closer to your line, a little bit more panic, a little bit of inexperience, rush of blood. And that's what South Sydney are playing on. They got them 4 times down that side last time.
So here's Reynolds from 25 out and 10 in, spot on.
Just time our run out here, gents.
And back at Bank West, the first points of the game going to the South Sydney side. Gagai, the try scorer, his 57th career try. Converted by Reynolds, and now Marshall gets us going again with an awkward bouncing ball down to Allen. And he chooses to go away to the middle man, Tom Burgess. He plays it 12 metres away from his own line. This is Liam Knight.
When they tore apart the Parramatta Eels a few weeks ago here, once they got to the lead on the scoreboard, they started playing these shapes coming out of their own half of the field, so actually attacking the halfway line, and they got really great results. Now that they're first on the board here, well, here they go.
So Reynolds kicks early, and the sprinter's on. The ball bouncing outside the touchline. So they'll come back for a scrum at around about the 40.
Well, this was nicely set up for Reynolds to get a 40-20. They played it. He got plenty of time, plenty of room. Just gets off the outside of his boot, and you can see him stop quickly. It's like when you hit a putt, Rabs. You know it's just going to be short, don't you?
Most often.
As soon as you hit it.
So a changeover, not a scrum. The West Tigers, they get a chance. They haven't, at this stage in the game, seen the real estate very much down the other end of the park. That's Leilua. 20 metres in from touch on the eastern side. Brooks out in front of him. Then it's gone to Garner. And Garner is driven down by Walker and Sirenen. Now for Brooks again. He showed it to Aloiai. It's gone through Leilua, finding Talau playing in 19. And that's where the problem is over there with Talau and Kepa Oa. A lot of experience on the other side of the halfway line. And bit proppy young man, and here's a ball put down eventually. by West Tigers and picked up by Tom Burgess.
Excellent defence there by Campbell Graham. Complete contrast to what we saw at the other end of the field from the Tigers. Stayed on his man, knew exactly which shoulder he was going to tackle with, and closed down the play. Watch Campbell Graham, lets him bang. Full body in front, full contact, legs driving. He knew exactly where he wanted to position his man and hit him.
Great defender, Campbell Graham. One of those blokes that just knows how to use his bodies. Extremely tall, long arms. You see then just wrapped up his prey. End up getting the area out of the Tigers.
Campbell Graham is a product of Marcellin College. That's Sirenen at the 30-metre line. So Damien Cook and away for Adam Reynolds. That kick down into the corner, occupied on this occasion by Dewey. That's Nofaluma's wing back there. And as you can see, they haven't been directing too much traffic towards that corner, occupied by the fellow in the tackle there, David Nofaluma, leading try scorer for the year. And a West Tiger has never been the leading try scorer. They came into the league in 2000, and David looks like he's a chance of being the first.
He gets to defend
That'll be
Alex Johnson tonight. Alex Johnson's at his heels. He's a couple behind. He's in the next group of plays.
And this is the man that Brad's talking about, spinning out of one, pushing out another, and dived on eventually by Chris Lawrence. Now for Allen, up from fullback. Of course, that leading try scorer award is named in honour of the great Ken Irvine. His record is absolutely insane, Kenny. Here's Gagai stepping off his right foot, hoping to go through a gap. We'll play it 15 metres out from the Tigers line, out to Reynolds, big dummy, goes back to the right side, and the pass goes astray, dived on by Masters. So Stephen Masters, cousin of Isan, who was a former Tiger. And here's Nofaluma throwing a one-handed pass to Brooks. And Brooks is taken by Masters.
Ray, what was it about Ken Irvine? I never saw Ken Irvine, and I look at the players underneath Ken Irvine, Billy Slaters and Steve Menzies and Terry Lambs and Andrew Eddinghausens. What was so great about Ken Irvine?
Well, Gus's favourite word for a start, speed. I mean, he could tow it with blokes like Michael Cleary, who were, well, they Commonwealth Games athletes. I think it was either Ken or Michael actually took on a racehorse at Kembla once upon a time. But the main thing about Irvine's record is he scored a lot of tries in not as many games as the average player that you're looking at in that top bracket. And the corner post was in. It was part of the furniture. How many he would have scored under these rules, God only knows. Here's Johnston taking it safely, beating a couple, off the left foot, looking for the gap, comes to Grant. So Johnston playing it to Corey Allen, now for Campbell Graham. Funny thing, Brad, here we are talking about Ken Irvine. He was with Keith Barnes, the first co-commentators on the Amco Cup in 1974. Lovely bloke. This is Liam Knight with the ball now.
Keith was our manager on a kangaroo tour.
What about him? He is a champion.
What a good man.
Sewer, 20 away. Last tackle then for Souths, and Reynolds keeps it low. It's dribbling in, well weighted, picked up by Dewey, tackled by Reynolds. Straight out of the manual, Gus.
His short kicking game is second to none. He's really sharp with his fifth tackled options at the moment, and that behind there he's just trying to put pressure on the opposition, waiting for this, waiting for an error, wearing down his opponents and playing on their mind, constantly coming out of trouble under pressure, and now they've come up with another bobble.
They've just crept down, haven't they? They just creep down the field. They got the error out of Alex Twal a couple of sets ago. And it was like they were getting too far down the field. They weren't knowing what to do on 4th and 5th tackle. And they come up with a couple of strange plays, and this is exactly what they're playing for.
I can say another thing about Ken Irvine too. He scored all those tries with a team that rarely played finals football.
Yeah, the Bears.
They weren't that good, the North Sydney Bears.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people hate to hear that, but he played with a team that rarely played in the finals.
Chance here for South Sydney as Cook it is, who pivots the play along the line to Burgess. Cook again, having a look himself, getting it away to Liam Knight. And he's held by Garner, rakes the ball out, play on, it's gone to Burgess. Now it's away to Reynolds, stops, stammers, starts again. Now it's come down to Sewer, and he'll play the ball 12 metres out from the line.
Well, everyone stopped there. Everyone saw something, except the referee, and eventually he gave them 6 again.
Knight. So 6-0 in favour of the Rabbitohs. Is that about to be enlarged? Allen with the ball. And they come down the right side this time of the West Tigers defence. Cook out at first receiver that time. He goes back in, making an inquiry. He stops and goes back, and it's a penalty to Souths.
What do you do, Bradley? 2 points or keep going?
Well, the one thing you don't want to do is disrespect the Tigers, so I think they'll go for 2.
That's what they're doing. So Adam Reynolds, Benji Marshall getting some strapping to that right ankle. I mentioned at the top of the telecast that they're playing for the Beyond Blue Cup. It's a continuation of the Tigers and their partnership with Beyond Blue, who aim to raise awareness and start conversations about mental health. And the Tigers are running an online jersey auction to raise funds for Beyond Blue and, of course, for mental health. And those auctions are available at rawstore.com.au/auctions. So we'll put that up on the screen again for you during the night. But the jumpers from this side, the West Tigers, they'll be on auction for you to go to on that website. So Reynolds adds 2. Andrew Johns on the sideline tonight.
Yeah, just want to echo Gus's thoughts on Jaden Sewer. Really improved player. He's got a real bump in his game. Just refuses to be tackled. But another thing he's developed, he's got a bit of footwork and a right-hand flick out the back. Just watch him go at Luke Brooks, and he'll skip to the outside, try to get the centre, Tommy Talau, interested. And he's got a right-hand flick. A really improved player.
Is the man they're talking about, former Bronco.
He reminds me of Tony Carroll. I know when you try to run at Adam Reynolds, or if you pick him out, if you get your timing wrong, he jams in on you. And he's hurt plenty this year. He hits hard.
Here's Souths with this exhibition of passing at top speed, and they're on their own 10-metre line as they put that exhibition together.
Well, they're out to the 40 in 2 plays. And I don't know why a lot of teams don't spread the ball off the kick-off reception, run their opponent around.
Here's Knight. Running it hard. He's no exception to the rule. Now it's found Murray, who tries to put his nose through the gap. He plays it on the 30-metre line. Cook gets it away to Walker. Walker shoulders through. Support is coming. Corey Allen to wit.
Well, this is everyone getting on board and knowing each other. Andrew John spoke about this before the game, in predicting when Cook will run, and he invariably runs off the back of a Cameron Murray run. Now, Cameron Murray with a beautiful dummy and surge through the line. Harvey Norman replay gets the quicker replay. Look at them all pushing up now on the advantage line, knowing that Cook will come forward. First there is Cody Walker, and the support comes because everyone's pushing up through the line. Corey Allen picks it up to score the try, but put that down to Cameron Murray, quick play the ball, and then everyone recognising that Cook will go to the line to play.
And Cody Walker just holds off, just waits. Just waits for Damien Cook to find some space, attack a defender, and he just finds the next vacant hole.
It's a perfect example of what Andrew was talking about. When your 9 finds the markers asleep or divided or non-existent, then it's up to the 1 and the 6 and the 7 to push up, and that was a perfect example of it.
Well, Andrew played with a bloke called Baderis, Danny Baderis, and their combination was deadly.
So Reynolds converting the try.
AJ, just time your run here on the kicks. Stay behind. Okay, Benji. Time on.
Back for the restart. Bank West and the Rabbitohs leading 14-0 with 15 minutes of the first half remaining. Try scorer playing the ball, Corey Allen. The replacement out there is Kaloa Matangi, playing in jumper 17 for the red and green. And that's Bailey Siranen getting it to the 40-metre line. Here goes Cook again, an offload, and has gone through Walker again. Now they've found Johnston. They're lining up and waiting for the ball, and Campbell Graham, he goes in and takes one for himself.
That's what I was talking about. Attacking from your own side of halfway. Too many teams wait until they get down the other end of the field to run some plays and shapes at you. South Sydney have shown they can do it from their own side of halfway, and this is a beautiful little short side raid and some slick passing. Everything out in front. Harvey Norman replay. Decoy runner comes from the outside, but the ball goes through his hands very, very quickly. Look at the South Sydney jerseys backing up on the inside. That's really good football.
He was desperate to take him on, Alex Johnson. He was absolutely desperate. Although that pass was line ball, but once they got away with that pass, there was always a space on the edge, and you could just see Alex, he wanted to throw the early dummy and take Dewey on and go within 2 of the leading try scorer, but unselfishly gives it to Campbell Graham.
Lovely football.
See how Corey Allen starts from way on the inside. Nofaluma wouldn't have spotted him right until the last second. Would have thought they had numbers.
You really got to have a system for your short side defence. You've got to have a system for how your markers release when they've made a tackle. There are critical areas across the field where players have got to make a decision of how they release themselves from marker and defend the next play. Tigers got it wrong.
So Reynolds converts again.
Toddy.
Can you just tell?
Time out run here.
So back at Bank West, another South Sydney try, converted try, and 20-0 in favour of South Sydney.
Alex now.
Win tonight, and they could go up to number 5 on the ladder.
Harry space.
if they lose, and they're not going to lose, that's obvious. Although I don't suppose Manly thought they were going to lose either.
Jeez,
with 11
jumped early there, Ray.
Well, I think that's the best thing that could have happened to South Sydney in preparation for this game, that West Tigers had that late rally last week, because Wayne Bennett can remind his team, don't ever think you're comfortable in this game. Tigers get a run of possession. They can run up points very, very quickly. So I think it's good for South Sydney to have seen them do that to Manly last week. It'll just keep them sharp all the way to the final belt.
As you mentioned before, they did in the game 5 weeks ago. Come home late after a big start from the Rabbits.
The bomb has gone up and it's come off the hands
10 metres
of the West Tigers, but South Sydney's players were in front of the kicker inside the 10.
Yeah, and this is one of the laziest penalties you can ever give away. This is just lazy, not getting back behind the kicker. You only need to be a half a yard in front of the kicker and you're out of the action. You might as well be sitting in the grandstand. You should not get that wrong.
So the Tigers with Tommy Tillau. Jed Cartwright on the bench for the Rabbitohs, the son of John Cartwright. A wonderful player in his own right. And of course, Tommy, the son of Willie. And again, a wonderful player. So here's Brooks now, short and behind a decoy, and it's gone to Leilua. He'll play it just inside the 30-metre line. This is Harry Grant. Now it's with Luke Brooks. Goes behind the runner and gives the ball to Marshall, but Marshall is jammed in defence by Graham.
Those long arms again, Ray.
Yeah. They're like tentacles, aren't they? Brooks then puts it in the air under some pressure from Murray. Loose ball, Leilua. Ball goes to ground, dived on by Masters.
Geez, if he found Eisenhuth swooping around, that was a try. Leilua had to look left, and Eisenhuth would have scored in the corner. Here he goes as Leilua will pick it up. There's the number 14 Eisenhuth. He'll scoot to the corner.
So Gagai with the play the ball and the run for Mark Nichols now. South trundling the ball down the middle corridor, and talking of Eisenhuth, he's come up with the ball in a good attacking position for the West Tigers. 12. 25 out. Brooks showed it inside, went behind Garner. The ball has travelled quickly out to the leading try scorer, Nofaluma.
Nice play, but really good defence.
Marshall, as they make the ball do the work with long passing. The 17 is McIntyre. 9 metres away from the line. Grant, lofted pass on the bounce for Marshall. On the bounce for Nofaluma. Right foot step twice into the middle of the ground, and David will play the ball. 13 metres out. Grant again. Brooks now. Little kick. Masters fields it. Line drop out.
Okay, all clear. All clear.
Yeah, some beautiful football there from the Tigers. Lovely ball movement. Really good trick shot down this right-hand side. But South Sydney adjusted well. They went up and then were able to back off and slide. Look at this. Nice sleight of hand there from all those players. But look how South Sydney have covered it up so quickly. Very, very athletic. A nice little dink into the end goal there from Brooks.
When they come back the second time, Gus, to the right, Alex Johnson did a great job. He could have panicked and sprinted up and the ball would have went past him, but he held his nerve. The ball hit the ground and then he got his support from his inside. There's no panic there.
No, AJ, leave it, mate.
High tackle on Kepa Owa.
Well, I maintain a lot in
Thanks,
rugby
AJ.
league. If you go and look at all the tries that are scored, 80% of them could have been stopped if someone didn't panic or someone had have just communicated a little better. Panic and lack of communication is what concedes most tries. It's not so much the attacking game, it's the defence getting it really wrong out of panic or lack of communication.
Marshall. And Nofaluma finishes up with the ball. 2 metres away from South's line. They get a chance, the Rabbitohs, to practice some defence, having had most of the ball, scoring all of the tries. And here's the ball in the centre of the ground to Brooks, and a question mark on the pass. Leilua playing it on the 10-metre line. Grant has a look, held by Nichols and Allen. So the 4th tackle gone for the Tigers, and it's Brooks running into the defence as he stepped back off his right foot. 5 gone. Grant has another look. Here's a chance. Oh, did he get it down?
He got it down, Ray.
It's Garner. Garner's got the ball down, and the Tigers are on the board.
Well, this is really good play here from the dummy half, because it's tackle 5. Benji Marshall sprints back to the left for the kick option, and Harry Grant picks up Luke Garner on the right-hand side of the play, the ball to surge him into the in goal. Harvey Norman replay. That's a nice little try and great dummy half play.
He does a great job, Garner. He doesn't get too deep. He knows Harry Grant and what he can do. And they don't give it away, none of them. He just knows he's going to get out. He knows he's going to back himself. He's done it all year. And South Sydney were containing the long passes quite easily, but not the short pass on the line. Nice strength by Garner, pulls through the Graham tackle.
I was just going to say that. I mean, you wonder why they spend so many hours in the gym and how important it is, your strength. The extra effort there, the second effort there for Garner to pull through the Campbell Graham tackle and get that ball to ground. That's all done in the gym, that stuff. Moments like that are won in the gym, doing that really hard work. It was a really good second effort surge to get that ball down under pressure.
So we're 6 minutes away from the break, and Adam Dewey with this conversion attempt to convert the try scored by Luke Garner. And Dewey, with 18 points last week, converts.
Just time our run here.
Josh Reynolds.
Time your run, South. When you're ready, Adam.
Watching on.
Come on.
As his namesake gets us going again. So 20-6 in favour of the Rabbitohs. And the Tigers now to bring the ball away from their own line.
It gives them something to work with. If they can keep the Rabbitohs for 20, down to at least 20 for the end of the game, they've given themselves a hope.
McIntyre played some of his junior reps, I fancy, at Newcastle. Came from Port Macquarie originally.
He's a goer, I like him. Before the try, I thought they were going the wrong side. They keep coming to the right. I'll be going over to Stephen Masters and Gagai and testing them.
Here's Brooks delivering a short ball quite low down for Luciano. Leilua. Grant. The markers were fairly deep, and I don't know that they were square. And West Tigers keeping it alive to Eisenhuth. He gets buckled by a tackle from the 16, Mago. Here's the Tigers coming across to the right-hand side, looking for their try scorer, Nofaluma.
He really is a player, this Harry Grant. Just watching him. I know everyone said it, but he's a real player.
Brooks. Marshall.
Oh, great ball.
It's here, and Talau scores. The West Tigers have picked up another one in a short space of time.
Well, there you go, Bradley. You said go left. What did you see here?
The pass had to be perfect. I'm looking forward to another look. The pass from Grant again. Nice wide pass. There's Stephen Masters coming in on someone he didn't have to on the Harvey Norman replay. Tommy Talau gets the try. Look at that pass out in front. You can see he comes from a good school, Harry Grant. And that pass, I'm going to ask Andrew Johns what he thought of whether it was forward. Joey, what do you think?
Yeah, beautiful pass. It's because they ran the ball on the last play. If we can get a high shot, you'll see it perfect. Because Dane Gagai in the number 5, he's back for the kick. You'll see him at the top of the screen. He's right back waiting for the kick. There it is there. Watch Gagai go back, which then isolates the centre, Masters. Benji sees this, goes to the line. Normally Gagai would be coming in, shutting that down on Talau, but last tackle, winger disjointed from his centre. Plenty of room there. Nice play by the Tigers.
This is what happened the last 2 times the team played. South Sydney were completely dominant, scored 4 tries. Reynolds had an off night with the kicking. They led, I think, 16-0. And all of a sudden it got back to 16-10. Tigers don't give up. They kept coming. Lovely pass from Benji Marshall. Lovely. The intro we did for him before the game tonight. You just look at all those highlights of his career. Incredible. The influence he's had on the game.
Adam Dewey with that angle to convert. The try scored by Tommy Talau. Beautiful ball from Benji Marshall, and Dewey converts.
Bailey, you're pretty tight on there. Just make sure you stay behind, mate. Okay, Damien, time you're running, mate.
So back at Bankwest Stadium, and this game has turned around. The Rabbitohs rushed out to a 20-0 lead, and suddenly the West Tigers have come back.
Oh.
And ruling that comment that I made about 10 minutes ago. They're not going to lose.
We'll back you up.
Yeah.
We won't remind you.
No, of course not. Played then by McIntyre, then Brooks. That's Eisenhuth.
Well, this is what they do, the Tigers. We've done it several times this year.
McIntyre linking forwards and backs. Dewey coming in just inside Nofaluma's wing. Now Marshall. Again for Brooks. Chips it. Oh, beautiful take by Gagai.
Well, just the same. He kicked it straight to him. He needed to do better than that, Brooks. He had 3/4 of a field there to kick it and kicked it straight to him.
So Masters.
Well, give it to Mayer. His team did a great job getting back behind him. You need to either give it to Mayer and give him a chance to compete.
Johnston. So just a minute and a quarter to the halftime break. Played by Sirenen. It's away to Kaloa Matangi. And the last tackle is called by Ben Cummins as the ball finds Reynolds. Walker throws a neat dummy, tries to put a kick on it, and then Brooks does the same. It comes down though with Talau, and he'll play the ball with about 40 seconds of time till half-time.
Yeah, they've done well here, the Tigers, haven't they?
Brooks. Bullet pass to Marshall, and then inside for Garner. Halfway line. Eisenhuth. Brooks behind Leilua. It's gone to Dewey, but the referee calls it forward.
Wow.
Which pass was that?
The Harry Grant pass from dummy half.
Where'd you like it?
I've got to say,
Middle?
it was a ripper. I've seen 3 forward passes tonight, and I was right in front of this one.
Yeah, I think so.
It's very harsh.
Don't know.
Well, you're the one with the eagle eye. So there it is, the halftime whistle in the background. The Rabbitohs were 20-0, and at the halftime break, it's 20-12 in favour of South Sydney. So the second half underway with West Tigers trying to survive in this competition. They need to win their last 3 games to even have a remote chance of making the top 8. I think involved in that equation, by the way, is Cronulla. They would be hoping, West Tigers that is, would get beaten at least twice out of their 3 matches. So just because they did happen to win their 3 matches doesn't necessarily take them to the top 8. And still to come, West Tigers, they've got the Storm and then they got Parramatta.
Yeah, but Cronulla got the Warriors this week, who are desperate. They also play the Roosters and the Raiders, last year's grand finalists. Well, that's no cruise for them.
No, exactly right. It's not a cruise to nowhere. So Reynolds, he reefs it high and Dewey brings it back.
Yeah, he hustled there, Dewey, because it was one of those ones that he just couldn't let bounce. It had the wobbly trajectory and could have gone anywhere, so he really hustled to make the grab.
Kepaoa.
Ball.
There's Nofaluma.
What a pass. What a pass. What a skill that is from dummy half.
Lawrence.
What an asset that is. Couldn't do that in the 80s.
Brooks showing it a couple of times and then straightens up and runs into solid defence from South Sydney.
I'm sure Benji Marshall took note of those outside backs and sprinting up.
Here's Dewey putting it down towards Corey Allen. Back on his own line.
Well, that was one of those floppy kicks we saw at the other end, and they let it bounce. Could have gone anywhere. In the end, a kind bounce for South Sydney.
Allen again.
I always thought if you could put the high kick in between the fullback and winger so that they actually look at each other to see who's going to take it. And the moment they look at each other, they're gone. They lose the ball.
This is Jaden Sewer. They're on their last tackle, 35 metres away from their own line. And Reynolds drives it down in the direction of Nofaluma and makes his way back from his own try line eventually. So half-time, 20-12 in favour of Souths. And of course they led 20-0 after a little bit more than half of that first stanza. That's 12.
It's happened to them a few times this year, notably last week. I mean, they were all over the Melbourne Storm last week. Melbourne Storm physically were not in the contest, but still managed to get back to 14-10 at half-time and went on to win the game.
Marshall with quick hands.
He had to pass it, Garner. There was space on the edge.
Middle of the ground, halfway line. Marshall.
That's high.
Puts it. Towering kick up, and Allen did very well. The charging feet of McIntyre coming at him. Ball swirling around. Out for Gagai.
Well, that was high.
It went above the lights.
Yeah, that would have gone above the lights into the dark and then come back into the lights.
Masters.
It's right up there. It's in the dark. There you
Disappeared.
go. Yeah. That would be hard to take. What great camera work that is. That ball went out of the lights into the darkness.
Sirenen. So Walker on the short side. Chipping it down for Dewey. Then he throws a long pass over to Kepaoa.
Keeps coming back for more, this kid.
They hit him with plenty of ammunition early, didn't they? Here's Talau.
He could have been penalised then.
For 12.
I've noticed in your old age, Bradley, you love penalties. You want to penalise them all.
You can't run behind your player.
What era did you come from?
Marshall.
Good as it.
Oh, it's gone into touch.
Well, that pass was too good for the young fella.
So I was talking about last set. He saw Masters and Gagai flew up on the outside, and you could just see Benji's eyes. He noticed it. Look at that.
He just knew. The kid wasn't ready. Benji, watch this. Look, 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 look. Then no look. Beautifully. Right onto where your chest should have been. And the young kid was thinking, what's he doing, this silly old fella?
The winger should have known when Benji looks away from you, that's when he's going to pass it to you.
Okay, beside there, mate. Okay, Damien, Adam.
You'll want to be there next time.
So Souths looking play towards the eastern side of the ground. And Mark Nichols now drives it up the middle.
The penalty restart here. South Sydney have got to get back into their rhythm.
Kaloa Matangi.
They've narrowed up their focus. They've slowed down a little bit.
Reynolds to the line, then going back to Walker, who brings Allen into play. Ball pops out. Souths have got it. And the referee rules lost by Souths. Knock on.
Well, I've got to say, for any teams that are coming up against South Sydney in the coming weeks, teams that slide in defence and force them towards the sideline have had terrific success defending them. South Sydney don't like it at all. They get themselves in all sorts of trouble. They love it when you want to rush them and come up and in. They don't so much like it if you're sliding inside out. Now, quite often you don't get the opportunity to do that. And I'm not recommending that's the way to defend all the time. But against South, it is.
The 2020 State of Origin is less than 2 months away. And the NRL shop has got your Origin fix covered. Head to nrlshop.com and order your gear now.
Have a conference call tomorrow, Ray. Hopefully find out where the first game's being played. Is it Adelaide?
Origin.
Remember that game?
12.
How long after the grand final is it?
10 days.
Grant.
I'll be in camp with the other players from the 19th, the week before. Getting ready.
Brooks. Oh, McIntyre taking a hit from Sewer. McIntyre trying to get up. He's claiming that he was getting crowded. Now Benji gets the ball away to he's caught it. He's caught it before it hit the ground. It's Dane Gagai in a foot race with Adam Dewey. Off his right foot, goes inside. Here comes the cavalry. The ball goes to ground. Here they come again, South with Walker.
Incredible. Great grab by Gagai. Outstanding cover defence from Tigers, and they're about to lose a man.
I'd like to see what happens here. I'd also like to see how the ball dislodged. It obviously hit a hand of a Tiger, but is it considered a loose carry or?
No, don't start me on that, Bradley.
So Alex Twal has been sin bin for 10 minutes.
Look at this. What's the pick up from Gagai? He's just brilliant at this. He does it so often. It's now a foot race. Dewey cuts him off. There's more West Tigers jerseys chasing back here than South Sydney supporters. Look at them all. They're all in the picture. And the ball gets knocked free here before being scooped up by Walker. Now, what's Twal thinking here in the tackle? We won't have a look at it maybe later.
Yeah, we'll go back and we'll re-spool in a moment and go back to that, because South's very much on the attack right now with Nichols to play the ball about 4 metres out from the line. Damien Cook, and he gives it to Bailey Sirinen.
Are we re-spooling now?
You'll be recoiling in a moment. Here's Cook away, and Kalamatangi got it away to Mago. He puts it down. Dewey comes out from his own in goal and takes it beyond the 10-metre line.
Well, it's an important period now for West Tigers, isn't it? They're just hanging on the scoreboard, down to 12 men. They're on the attack and look like scoring. Gagai comes up with the pinch, and it results in Alex Twal headed to the sin bin. They're down to 12 men.
Lawrence.
Games can change so quickly.
Fancy South finished up with the ball going to the wrong players when they had that try-scoring opportunity just a minute ago.
Well, I wonder what Alex Twal was doing in the tackle, because he would have known that he was in a potential sin bin situation.
Well, it was Cody Walker, so I'm gathering Cody had some part of his body tied up. The ball, the penalty to the Tigers. So get him down the field plus chew up to the clock.
Leave it.
Well, Alex Twal must have known that he was potentially in sin bin. Hello, we've got a bit of a...
It's a fight.
Okay.
Brooks has just thrown a right hook.
Has he? Well, they're all in.
Separate them.
Luke
Separate
Brooks
them.
has dead set thrown a right hook.
You've got a mouse
I've got
under
a
his
punch
right
on
eye
Brooks,
now.
mate.
What was he thinking?
Brooks, but I want to see if something happens beforehand. Separate. Time off.
Well, that was just
There may be something before
a
that.
brain snap.
Well, there was nothing doing
Separate
here.
them, please. Adam, out of here. Tommy, over here, mate.
Well, there was
Separate
a disagreement over
This
whose
way there.
ball it was, and one wouldn't give the other player the ball, and that's what happened. Then it's Gagai and Brooks. Bang!
He's gone. He copped the ball on the head.
Hold there.
He's now going to get
Hold
sent
there.
Well, do you
10
send,
minutes. They're going to have 11 in the bin
do you send bin Gagai?
Hold
for
there.
throwing a ball at
Adam,
someone's
take him
head.
back for us,
Yeah.
please, mate.
No. Throwing a ball at someone's head isn't inciting a brawl.
Hold there.
It
Hold there.
wasn't even aggressive. So that's just ridiculous by Luke Brooks.
Yes, I've got them separated. Benji.
Gone.
Yep. Okay, so I've got a... Yep.
Well, there's a bit of spice, isn't it?
Yep.
Everyone regroups in the huddle, says, how good was
Yep. And
that?
the outcome?
They're going to be down to 11.
Yeah, okay, so...
I played in a game here one day with South Sydney. We were down to 10.
Yep. No worries. Yep.
Down to 10, and we came from behind to force a draw
Yeah.
against Peter
Luke?
Sterling's Parramatta Eels.
Well, he's in trouble, I'd say, Luke Brooks.
Yeah, I'll take care of it, all right?
He's gone
But
ski.
you have reacted and you're throwing a punch.
So that's the penalty for
You will get the
punching.
penalty, original penalty, but we can't have that in the game, mate. Okay, so... Yep.
It'll be interesting what he does
Dane.
with Gagai.
You think he might even it up?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he does.
Okay, so he's throwing a bunch. You throwing as one as well? So you go as well.
Yep.
Yeah, he's gone.
Well, he said he was sin bin for throwing a punch, not throwing the ball.
Punches, they can't stay on the field. We're going back to the original penalty.
So after copping the hook off Brooksy,
They both throwing punches.
he must have
Dane
thought,
threw the
well,
ball as well. We've got a penalty.
there's
to
enough
the
people
Tigers.
around here, I might get one in myself.
He's only retaliated because
He
Well,
threw
he
the
was
ball.
giving Brooks a push in the eye afterwards. Boom. Geez, he hit the mark.
Yeah, nice.
How many fair dinkum punches have we seen since
Halfway, is it?
the Paul Gallen and Miles incident?
And Curtis Scott got Dylan Walker.
Yeah, but how many would you say
I wouldn't say
in
more
a
than
period
that.
of how long ago was it?
Not many.
Well, how many years?
Well, that was 14 when
Yeah.
Gallen threw the punch. It's a long time ago.
Well, it seems to have. It's certainly taken the punch out of the game, but there are some exceptions. We just saw one.
Well, I think it's about to put some spice in the game. This has opened it right up. 11 on one team, 12 on the other. There's going to be no wrestle here. This is just going to be pretty much end-to-end action as the defences try to keep up. And your best form of defence is to score points. Keep attacking.
Play by Leilua now, and here's a run for McIntyre. 20 metres out from the line. Down the middle corridor for the Tigers. And Marshall gets the ball away to Lawrence. And Chris will play the ball just inside the 10-metre line. Marshall on the end of a long ball. The 14 is Eisenhuth. Centre of the ground, put down by Kaloa Matangi. Back for Marshall again, the conductor. And a long pass. Oh, the youngster can't take it. Kepa Awa.
Well, look, I'm not being critical because he's a kid and it's a difficult position and sometimes they throw you some terrible passes. But you've got to learn to catch him. You honestly got to catch the ball. That's the most important thing. Whatever they throw you, you have to catch. Mightn't be the pass you want, but slow down and catch it because you're going nowhere without it. And he's just getting a little lesson here tonight.
Yeah.
You've got to catch it.
He just put it all on the line there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
And when you look at the scope of the game, they've got 2 in the bin. We've got 6 minutes before 12 can come back. 8.5 minutes before Brooks gets back. They needed the ball down that end. A restart would have been gold. Just chew the clock up.
It's so important to put in every footballer's head. Every pass that you get, they're not all going to be perfect. You've got to learn to catch them all. Stop what you're thinking and catch the ball. If it's not the pass you wanted, catch it and we'll move on. Don't make it worse by turning a bad pass into a loss of possession.
That's Masters.
Well, South Sydney should make them pay here. 12 on 11, plenty of space out there. Get the ball to Cody Walker and just watch it happen.
So Reynolds lining up on the blind side. Sewer getting the ball away. He'll do well to stay in the field of play. And the changeover goes to West Tigers.
Well, that was awful play. That was just dumping the problem off onto the teammate. Got running sideways. The defence was coming sideways. And all they did was kept dumping the problem off to someone else until Masters gets bundled in the touch.
This young bloke you're talking about, Asu Kepa-Oa, he played flag and ball for the Roosters, I think in the same year, and scored 20 tries.
That's right. He only came this year, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he was the trade-off to make way in the roster for Sonny Bill.
Yeah, they'd be on about the same year. He's a good kid, don't get me wrong, but he's just learning some valuable lessons here tonight, and there's only one place to learn that, and he's out there on the field.
Here's Grant. Knew that the markers, well, one marker was too deep. 35 out from the line. Nofaluma played back to Grant again. Then Marshall. He turns it into Dewey. Dewey pushing up from the back. And Adam gets a pass away again to Grant. Now it's with Nofaluma. Back to Grant. And he's tackled over the top. 25 metres out from the line. So Taylor is out there now, Elijah. And Marshall rolls it into Graham. And Campbell Graham will play the ball inside his own 10, back in his own corner.
Well, he's a good man to have when you're down to 11 men, Elijah Taylor, because he can make up for 2 or 3 in defence.
The other one is Harry Green. He passes across 2 or 3. They're not having much trouble in attack. They just need to defend these next couple of sets of 6. 3 minutes 25 until 12 comes back.
Liam Knight. West Tigers in a battle to survive. Johnston. 5 gone then for the red and green. Reynolds.
Whoops.
Puts a kick up, but he certainly didn't get that properly. It's bounced high. And Grant is taken by Burgess. Andrew sideline.
Seeing now on the field is, I think, something we should experiment with, is less players on the field. The game's been around for over 100 years, but the players have got bigger and faster, but the pitches haven't got bigger. So something I think we should be experimenting with, whether it's 12 players or even going further, 11 players. More room to move, attacking footy, more fun to play, more entertaining.
Nofaluma on the merry-go-round, gets it back to Marshall. Shows it to one, gives it to Taylor. Just outside the 30-metre line, a 2-man South Sydney tackle comprising Cook and Burgess. Marshall for Leilua now, and Leilua tries to break through, gets it away. It's come away from Talau, gone down to Dewey. He puts a kick in, bouncing down on towards the 10-metre line, and brought back by Allen.
Okay.
Graham. Well, they're going to survive this sin bin of Alex Twal anyway.
Oh, you've put the mock on him.
Still a minute and a half to go.
Well, the director was just telling me he's about to come back on.
He's come down the tunnel.
Oh, no,
Look
Ray.
out. Look
Ray,
out.
what have you done?
Look out.
Reynolds got the ball away to Murray.
Look out.
Look over the left shoulder. Here they come again.
Right.
Reynolds back to Cook. Cook gives it to Walker. Walker to Burgess. Burgess puts a kick in. And the Tigers, can they get it back? No, Grant tackled in goal.
Oh, phew.
Oh, right.
Thank God for Harry. Thank God for Harry. By the way, thanks very much, Jocks. What about the support from Fittler
right.
and Girl?
Well, that's the second time Harry Grant's got back and defused a kick. He's all over the place at the moment. He's a player. He's a really good player. Now, what do you think the Burgess kick, Andrew Johns? You're the kicking licence expert.
Oh, I've just vomited. That is 101, not how to drop the ball when you kick. Honestly.
He had to drop it a long way.
He also had about a 4-man overlap on the outside.
Could you be a bit more descriptive, Andrew?
No.
Burgess. 30 out.
That's what you want your kicking coach to tell you.
Sheridan.
10 seconds, 12.
Thank you. And so Liam Knight for Adam Reynolds, a show, and then he gives the ball away to Walker, and South Sydney's Graham goes in for another.
Oh, dear. Well, the good news, Alex Twell's coming back soon. Harvey Norman replay. This is their pet shape coming out with the right-hand side.
Well, that's Alex Twell.
He's coming back now. Pet shape, out the back, across, out the back, 2-on-1. This time's Kapalua stayed back, but it was to no avail. And they just get there. Well, they've only got 11 men out there. You can hardly blame the Tigers, but dear, oh dear, eh? A minute is a lifetime in rugby league.
South Sydney were going on a point a minute until you said something, and it turned.
Yeah.
In one sentence.
Yeah.
You just put the nail in the Tigers' coffin.
Good footy, though.
There'll be nothing left for the press. You've already consumed it. Campbell Graham. He's a good kid, isn't he?
He's terrific. And he's playing left centre, or he was playing left centre. He scored on the right-hand side of the field now.
Well, he doesn't care where he plays. He's just happy to play. He plays right wing, right centre, left centre. He'd play in the front row if you asked him.
Does he play Origin?
He'll be thereabouts.
I love that sort of talk. Geez, you've got some good ones coming through. Zach Lomax.
Here's Reynolds then.
Campbell Graham.
25 out. 10 metres in. And Zott. No more breaks? Okay. Gives us more time to talk about Alex Twell. Oh, shit. I thought I heard Newt say the Twell's about to come back. Oh, God.
Just a clock, mate.
So back at Bank West, and there's your try scorer for the second time tonight. What did I tell you before? He'd scored 6 tries in his last 4 games. Campbell Graham, and another couple tonight. So his figures are getting better by the game. Now the 15 is out there for the Rabbitohs. Jed Cartwright played 1 top-grade game. That was his debut game. That was his only appearance in the top grade for the Panthers. Here's Damien taking a run out to the 40-metre line. So Jed, just to paint the picture, is the son of John, who played for Australia, played for New South Wales. And of course he'd be a cousin of Bryce Cartwright, the former Panther who went up to the Titans. Is that right, Brad? You're
That's right.
more familiar with them than I am.
Played at the Panthers, spent a lot of his time over the Gold Coast, obviously. Brooks back on the field.
Go back. Hold there.
Jed came to the
Right
Panthers
there.
Academy 3 or 4 years ago. Had some injury issues and didn't play a lot of football for a long time, but he won the New South Wales Cup down there. Was a prominent member of that side and ended up debuting for a very strong Panthers team last year, and he's gone to South Sydney for opportunity. I think primarily a back rower. He's athletic. He can play in the centres as well. I've got a lot of hope for him. I still think he'll be a late mature and play plenty of NRL football given the right circumstance.
There's Marshall. It's gone to ground, and Marshall comes up with the ball. And Nofaluma puts the kick down the ground. And Brooks is back there, and Brooks has put it down. He's put it down for a try. Well, he's snuck back out there.
Yep. Okay, mate.
Well, I'm just wondering what Adam Reynolds was thinking here. Whether he just stone cold dropped it.
Last tackle. I have a try. Can you just check, make sure that's a kick there, and onside for the kick chasers, please, mate?
So we'll go back and review everything.
Well, that's the sort of impact you want of a player that's been sent to the sin bin.
Okay.
So Benji does really well here, running the ball.
Right side kick chase is cleared as being onside.
Gets a little kick through. There's a ricochet. Nofaluma. Well, Benji picks it up and he must flick pass it to Nofaluma.
Clean pick up from Benji Marshall, playing on.
I love that.
Give us a flick pass.
Oh,
Benji.
that is so good.
Now the second kick, they're onside.
Yep. Luke Brooks is cleared as being onside. It's play on.
Just wondering what Adam Reynolds does here. He looks as though he's got a good grab at this. He should get this comfortably. What happens to him?
It's off the knee of Luke Brooks. It's play on.
He doesn't get it.
Clean pick up from Luke Brooks.
Well, that's
and
fantastic.
he grabs the ball in the end goal. We have a decision.
Well, last week they were 14 down with 13 minutes to go. This week they're 14 down with 18. They come up with the try. And the goal's directly in front, which would make it an 8-point ball game.
So Luke Brooks has scored the try after doing 10 in the bin for punching.
It was beautiful play by Benji. A little grubber kick was trapped, but he just scooped it up, and then the flick pass.
So Dewey converts the Luke Brooks try, and it's 26-20 now.
Benji Marshall gets a little feather on the ball here, kicks it. Harvey Norman replay. There's a ricochet. And the old bloke bends down, picks it up, loves the flick pass, loves the flick pass. Nofaluma, great player. Grubber kicks in behind. Luke Brooks comes through, gets a knee on it, picks it up. This is good stuff. If they get ball, West Tigers, they can run up points. Manly found that out last week.
Well, we need to get Benji into a team. If we get to Andrew Abdo, like Joey said, and take some players off the field, Benji will be on a fortune.
Well, with Benji's career, he should be able to play anywhere and not impact the salary cap, given his long service. And anyway, that's wishful thinking. That's just my own stupid ways.
I don't think you're stupid at all.
No.
I think most people would agree with you.
Well, a fella at Coles, didn't you get Alex Johnson signed at South? Is that right? Or Woolies? Right?
Yeah, Zach Wheeler was his name.
Let's start a petition. Let's get Benji a footy team.
Only Telstra mobile customers can stream live NRL data free on Australia's best mobile network. Download the NRL official app now. Telstra, they are the best. Major sponsors of the Premiership. And here's Alex Twal, 35 metres out from his line.
Only 8 the difference. They've clawed their way back into this. They've been down to 11 men. They've been down 20-0. So since being down 20-0, they're leading the game 18-6, despite being down to 11 men.
Play by Dewey. Brooks. Takes it down into Gagai's corner. And he's taken there by the youngster Kepa Oa. Now Graham. Johnston.
Are you feeling nervous for South Sydney, Bradley?
I reckon this set can be the difference. If they can get a good enough kick into a corner here with 15 minutes to go, Adam Reynolds can get them. Oh, good run, Campbell Graham.
So Cook back to the kicker. Reynolds puts it straight to Dewey. Now to Kepaoa across to Brooks, who tries to step and beat the 15, Jed Cartwright.
Good tackle by Cartwright.
This is Talau.
I think Souths have got more energy than Tigers.
Dewey. Former bunny. Wanted to play full-back, and West Tigers with the opportunity.
What a
now
good
they're
touch
talking
there.
about Addo Carr. Here's Grant getting it back. Oh, gee, that was a high shot as the player fell into it.
Yeah, he'll probably stay down here.
It's Nofaluma.
Yeah. Now he's got the penalties up. So just watch this. Beautiful work by Grant. 2 plays in a row. He'll cop one around the chops there. Well, his arm was in the way. He never got hit at all.
He's done all right, Dave Nofaluma, for 4th tackle. He's spending plenty of time in the middle around Harry Green. He knows he's the danger.
Brooks. Now Marshall. And here it is again to Kepaoa. A chance this time. Oh, I think he may have got it.
Oh, I hope he scored.
You want to check the touch line?
This is touch and go with that touch line.
He's got to be right, hasn't he? Please, please, please. Football gods.
H.
Football gods, intervene here.
I have a try.
Once again, Gagai flying in.
Touch and goal. Grounding, and the defender's action is coming into that, please, Corey Allen.
Benji's already picked him off. He didn't take the warning. And he comes over with a cracker, and the rookie.
Please. Football gods. Football gods. Justice. Football gods.
Oh, no. Oh, the right foot.
There's him. What are we looking at here? Push.
Oh, he's right.
Clearing the
foot.
contact from Corey Allen. We're checking to see if Asu Kepaoa stays in touch.
Oh, that's a try.
It's a try.
That's a try.
He's okay. You're both groaning and moaning. It's a try.
Well done, football gods. Well done. Now, earlier on, Benji Marshall threw a beautiful pass, exactly the same pass.
And Asu Kepaoa stays in the field of play and grounds the ball. We have a decision.
Benji threw this beautiful pass to the young fella who just wasn't watching. He just didn't believe that Benji Marshall could get it to him. And he dropped it. Let's go back and see if we can relive that moment for young Kepaoa. There's one over there where he didn't catch the ball. The one I was talking about was
through
earlier.
the legs. Here it is. Look at that. Oh, no,
That's the one he catches. Harvey Norman replay. Well done by the youngster. The one pass I was talking about was the one that Benji Marshall threw to him earlier that went out over the sideline. Now, fellas will be able to cue that up shortly. But this time he was in the right place at the right time, and the youngster surges towards the try line, keeps his feet in play and gets it down.
What a great moment. That's fantastic. Firstly, the master to keep backing himself and throwing the pass. And then for the young bloke, Kepaoa, to learn. Yeah, one go through the legs. He was late on one.
He needed that one.
He caught the important one.
He needed that one. 26 plays 22. And Dewey from the sideline, as you can see, with that angle. And on its way, it's coming back a fraction. He's got it.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Here they come, the Tigers. They did it last week. South Sydney led 20-0, but the Tigers are now right in their rear vision mirror. They can see them coming. This is the one earlier. Benji throws it over the top, and the young fella's back in the corner, not waiting for him. Just couldn't believe the old bloke would throw a pass like that. This time he was ready. Okay, Benj, I know what I'm doing now. Straight onto his chest, surges to the in goal, and scores in the corner for a 6-pointer. He loved that. Well done, young man.
Maybe you're ready, Adam.
That's, you know,
Time on,
learning
time
from
running
experience. 26-24, what a game. South Sydney should have been aware. Black and gold never fold.
You got any predictions, Robbie?
No. I'm done. I'm dead set smoke.
But look at Benji Marshall. Look at what he's done tonight. And, you know, look, I know it's hard with salary caps and developing players, and players are getting older, etc. But there is still so much football in him.
If he wants to play, there needs to be a position somewhere.
You want these players in the game, don't you?
Taylor. That's Garner with the ball. And Benji was 15 when Kepa Owa was born. So Kepa Owa probably was doing what a lot of kids were doing when Benji Marshall hit the big time. Everybody that knew anything about rugby league and was a kid in the backyard, he wanted to be Benji. He really was the only Christian name that, as Gus points out, you start calling them by their Christian name, they've made it.
Look at South Sydney bunched here behind the play the ball now. They're in protection mode. They're not quite sure what to do. Do they go for more points, or they try and protect this narrow 2-point lead?
Well, down by 2 points, 26-24, trying to keep this dream alive. But Ogie men are waiting for them from the Storm and the Eels. That's if they do win this game. 5 gone. The Rabbits attack. That's got good weight on it. And Nufaluma gets the ball away to Dewey in goal. Ooh. It's a line dropout.
Great chase. Great kick. Good work by Nufaluma and Dewey. And they've only failed by an inch to get back because of great South Sydney chase. These are the moments that decide games. They decide big games. They decide grand finals, origins, the whole lot. The kick, and then everyone's supporting it, getting down for the chase. That's a big play by South.
Still got 10 seconds, Luke.
Big set of 6 in this game coming up.
So we've still got 11 minutes of the game remaining. Souths with their nose in front. They've scored 6 points to the Tigers 24 since that point in the game when South led 20-0. Burgess. Cook goes back to the centre for Murray, for Walker. Walker goes back and he picks up, is it Graham over there or Allen? They're just out from the line anyway.
Allen.
Corey Allen to play the ball. Back to Graham. Walker. Now Cook. Comes back for Reynolds out wide. That's Sewer getting it away to the 15. Cartwright. Down and up again. Got a ball away. Sewer again. Now it's with Johnston, a Gagai. Now it's gone to Burgess.
Luke Garner, great tackle. Oh,
Hurt
sorry,
himself,
McIntyre.
Garner. He's clutching at the elbow. Walker goes to ground. It's tapped on. There's an open path. And so they drop the ball, Alex Johnston.
Scrum here.
Wow.
Where do you want it?
Wow, 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 wow.
Where do you want it?
Ooh, that's a first.
They were shot here, the Tigers, in defence. Benji went running up. Nufaluma looked like he might have an intercept. Then it's just a simple 2-on-1. And Johnston has spilled his lollies, put the hands on the head, and they've bombed one. Absolutely bombed one.
Scrum still running.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Sorry, Ray, it was McIntyre that came in and made that tackle that got up clutching his arm.
Was it McIntyre?
McIntyre.
Okay. Well, the Tigers have got a long way to go to find
Look at this bloke.
that cherished line at the other end.
Have a look at this bloke.
Grant.
He's a player.
71 minutes into the game.
Nofaluma. There's a cutaway of a young supporter up in the stands just earlier on. I'm sure he's got the Harry Grant haircut. That's going to be the fashion, I'm sure. Dewey. Grant again. Marshall called it, but Grant had gone. It's gone through Brooks, gone to Elijah. He's on the ground. He's able to pass. Now, that could be indiscriminate kicking. It is against Luke Brooks.
Kicked it out, mate. Kicked it out. It's got in his hands.
He's nailed that, Ray.
Well, it is.
I thought he got the ball back. I thought it was brilliant.
Well,
you can't just kick like that.
he's not allowed to. Ask Josh Reynolds, he'll tell you. In fact, that last clash of theirs was full of memories of Josh having a kick, and it landed on Campbell Graham's head, which brought Latrell Mitchell into the 3-act play to sort things out.
Well, South Sydney can come in and nail it here with a good set of 6. Do they go left or right?
Here's Knight. 16 there. Jacob Little. Now Reynolds goes short to Sewer, proving a problem. Ball goes to ground, knocked on, and Leilua will be called back.
Where would you like it, Adam? Middle, go in the middle. How are we?
Yeah,
Okay, clock's on, we go in the middle, Tigers.
The ball spilled out the back. And Tommy Talau went for the dive. There was plenty of Tigers jerseys ready to chase a kick if someone could get their boot to it.
That was an upright thing.
These are the ones that hurt. The ones that hurt are where the opposition drops the ball and then you knock it on trying to retrieve it, and you're the infringement.
10 seconds of the scrum clock.
Another opportunity for South Sydney to ice this game.
Well, everybody looks tired. Walker finds some gas, gets it to Graham. We're 10 metres out. And Cook goes blindside for Walker, and Walker's a metre out. He might be hurt, is he?
2.
Cody Walker.
He looked up and saw McHarley. The moment he saw McHarley, you just knew he was going to demand the ball.
He's restarted the count, whatever the count was. Here's Burgess. 2-point ball game, and Cook decides to have a go. So the Australian number 9, slow to his feet. Sirenen swings the ball to Burgess, and Leilua takes him with Taylor and Little. 5 gone, and here is Reynolds getting it across the line to Allen. Allen gets it back to Reynolds. He's swamped by Leilua, and the Tigers have got the ball.
Great defence. Pretty ordinary set of 6 from South Sydney. It was a terrible set of 6, in fact, but West Tigers kept scrambling until they got the ball back. And we're down to 6 minutes left on the clock. Tigers still in it.
The exact same scenario. Tommy Talau, the ball was on the ground, he dived, and you could see his brain, he just held back. In that split second, the South Sydney player fell away and gave him the opportunity to grab the ball. Talking about learning. The left side for the Tigers is learning on the run.
Brooks for Marshall.
Ball.
And Leilua on the inside. And Burgess goes in to help Cook make the tackle.
Great ball there from Benji Marshall. Now he's sprinted way out to the right-hand side.
Brooks is there for the left foot kick into the corner. Underneath it, Johnston. It came off the hand of the Tiger, I fancy. It's play on for Johnston. Just harking back to that previous set that Souths had down on the line. I can't believe they had 6 tackles down there. It seemed like a very abbreviated set.
It was a pretty ordinary set.
I know that, but I'm worried about how many there were, how many play the ball. Here's Gagai. Reynolds. And the shot put down by Graham. It was an ordinary ball from Walker. Nofaluma surrounded by the enemy. He's put down a few metres from halfway.
Well, all eyes on Harry and Benji now.
Little, a dummy half, getting it away to Grant.
He's hitting it up now.
He's running forward. 4.5 to go in this quest from West Tigers to stay in it.
Well, Harry's
to stay in the battle for the top 8.
Harry's cramping in the background. 6 to go.
Brooks. Now Leilua.
Well, he's entitled to cramp up, Harry. He's run about 38 kilometres tonight.
Roger Taylor being escorted from the field. The 14 is Eisenhuth in an upright tackle. Little goes to the blind, looks to pass, gets it away back to Leilua. He's always progress. Gets it away. Can South get back? Gagai gets back. Beats one. Tries to beat a second. Looks to pass. And he'll play the ball 15 out.
Great job by Jacob Little. Dummy to the right and went shooting down the blind side. Luciano found some space. And I don't know how the ball came out. It didn't look like he wanted to pass. And ended up coughing it up on the line.
Steal.
That's a steal. 1-on-1. Cummings says play on.
Here they come again.
Little again.
The black and gold never fold.
McKaylee. So now over to Brooks. Wide to Marshall. Another kick. Lawrence is chasing, but it beats into the dead ball.
Too hard.
7 tackle set for Souths.
Great idea, but just a little too hard. He doesn't get those wrong very often.
0 coming up.
3 minutes, under it.
Well, the Tigers just keep coming. They're relentless. Souths are in protection mode.
20 points to 0. The Redfern boys were the leaders, and they still are, but now only 2. 26-24. 2.5 to go. Thursday night, Macca's football. Halfway line. Don't forget we're on a 7 tackle set. That's Sirenen on the 40-metre line. Don't forget tomorrow night a crackerjack game at Penrith Stadium. Parramatta versus Penrith. 30 metres out. Now for Sewer. Here's the last. The Reynolds has decided to put it into touch. Winding some time down.
Well, all that does is give the Tigers a chance to regroup, stop the clock,
Wait there, Luke.
and get from a set play situation.
Well, there's the timeout.
Tigers. Just
Stoppage of
change.
play when they set the scrum. And now he's given them permission to rise. I wonder what Wayne is thinking.
10 seconds, Corey.
He's thinking about supper after the game.
Supper?
Chocolate.
Yeah.
He has chocolate when he wins, right?
Well, they've got a long way to go, the Tigers. All eyes on Benji again.
Jason Little, you heard the referee, he said he held it. So played by Eisenhuth.
Harry's hitting it up like a front row, right?
This is Grant. So his deputy gets it away to Brooks, then Marshall. Marshall puts it back to Dewey. And Adam will play the ball a couple of metres his own side. Brooks goes behind Grant and goes to Marshall. It's gone to Lawrence.
Good defence.
Chris Lawrence coming into the side with Tommy Talau. And now Brooks sweeps it across the ground to Marshall. It's been taken by Talau. He's got rid of one. He's gone inside the 30. The ball on the ground. Referee said, play on.
Well, he didn't even look to his outside, Talau. Yeah. Kepa Oa on his outside and just didn't even look for him. And South Sydney should run the clock down here to record a 2-point victory. Some really great play from them in the first 20 minutes. But since then, the Tigers have come roaring back into it and given them a hell of a scare. And look at South, so bunched, they're done. They couldn't go another minute if they had to.
So all is needed now is a dummy half run. In fact, the siren will beat the play the ball. The siren has beat the play the ball. I think Cummins was just deciding whether or not it was deserving of a penalty holding play up as they did. But alas, that is not the case for West Tigers supporters. They've gone down bravely, incredibly. In fact, from 20-0 to go down 26-24 24 to the Rabbitohs.